he's watching all this and he's just like, I don't know, this seems to be getting worse and worse. So we're gonna always start with friendly game. So I'm gonna see, can I approach you? Can I pet you? If I'm gonna use this tool on you, can I approach you? Can I pet you with this tool? Let's see if I can find an itchy spot. Driving game real quick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to give him a little space so that he has kind of a head start on me. I'm gonna have my right here so that if he goes sideways, I can kind of keep him straight a little bit to kind of give him the right answer. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that there's a real distinct shift in my body language. So I'm driving, so I'm gonna lift, swing. Motion, so I'm going to kind of let him go. Good. Oh, this is just friendly game. Okay? So basically what would happen is I would start to swing, and if by the time I got to him, he hadn't moved, I would touch him. And so pretty soon then he gets to know, like, this is like a fan blade. If I don't get out of the way of the fan blade, then whose fault is it if I get touched? Yours or mine? Then he'd just be like, you're a wuss. Why I have no idea what you want. You're not effective. So it's all about that balance. Okay, so I'm going to look, lift, swing. See him right before I got there. He moved, so I'm going to pet him. I'm going to be like, yeah, good job. Hey, Jazzy. There's a difference between friendly game and driving game. Okay. Alright. I'm going to go to this hind end and see if I can get this hind end action. Jump the fence here a little bit. I'm going to go to this hind end and see if I can get this hind end to move away from me. So I'm going to come way out here. I'm going to go look, lift, swing. I didn't even have to touch him that one. that one time he was just like, I'm getting where this is going. You don't have to touch me. Good. And so what I'm going to do instead of touching him to firm up on him is I'm going to pet him like, oh, okay, that was good. See? All right, so I'm going to look, lift, swing, and touch. He was like, oh, don't touch me. I want to let him know, yeah, that's good. Give him a little pet so he knows that it's not that the stick is like a threatening bad thing, it's that the stick is just an extension of whatever my body language is telling you. So it can either firm up on you or it can pet you. It all depends on the body language. Lift, swing. And his is not real sharp yet as far as keeping his front end real still, but you know, that's not too he's like, don't touch me. I know this game. You don't have to touch me. And pretty soon he's going to get to, you know, when he's more educated, the phases are going to happen faster, which is going to make him go at a lower phase. So I can look at him and he's like, whoop, hide my hiney. So look. Yeah. That time, just had to go to lift. He's like, okay, I get how to stop you. I just have to yield my hind end, and then that stops you in your tracks. And then I'm going to pet him so he knows, yeah, see, that was good. That was good. See, that stick isn't always a hitty stick. Sometimes it's a petty stick. It all depends. Lift. Good. Good. And see, yeah, that wasn't like a huge step, but it was a step. It was a yield. That's all I wanted. Good. All right. So for this next one, for asking his front end over, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to use this fence to help me so that it kind of blocks off one possibility for him, which is to go forward. Because sometimes that can be a little confusing. If he doesn't move, I might put a little bit of driving pressure behind him. Good. So get him up to the fence, and I want to make sure to pet him so he knows, like, oh, going to the fence. That was a good idea. All right. So I'm going to pet him first, and then from this front end, I'm going to look, lift, swing. Good. They don't go anywhere. Just yield that front end. So he gave me a little bit extra stuff, but he yielded that front end over, which is what I wanted. Porcupine game to get him to back up a little bit. There we go. So I can this fence.
What did you do exactly with the porcupine game?
Yeah, I reached up and kind of pressed his nose back a little bit to get him to step back.
Okay.
Yep. So, all right. So driving game. I'm gonna look, lift, swing, and touch. Good. And then he yielded from me, so I'm gonna pet him and go, oh yeah, that was good. See? Look, lift, swing. Got the string hooked over his horn, but that's okay because I spent all that time doing friendly games, so that's not a big deal. But yeah, all this little stuff, just seeing if I can create a little bit of language. So now I'm gonna look at his hind end. He's not looking at me. He's gonna miss it. So basically, what I want him to do, instead of kind of hiding and being like, "Oh, I'm not looking at you," I want him to know, "Oh, I better keep an eye on you because you might be talking to my hind end back here." So instead of criticizing his head too much, that time he was a little bit snappier about like, "Oh, that's my hind end." Good. And that hind end is really, really important to get that snappy with the driving game, because that's going to kind of predict how good your stop is. I might use my lead shank here to kind of block his forward motion a little bit, to help him refine it a little bit so that he learns that I'm just talking to the back, not talking to the front. And I'm doing that by kind of lifting. That kind of blocks his nose a little bit. It's a little bit easier with the rope halter, but this is okay for our purposes. So look. Yeah, see that time I looked, I barely got in a lift, and he was like, "I know that one. You don't have to touch me. I know that one." Good. So I'm gonna pet him. My body language nice and down. Go backwards one more time because that was a little bit hard for him. Look, lift, swing. Good. That was better. He thought about escaping there to the side a little bit. I kind of kept him a little bit watch the body language. There we go. All right. Good. Okay. So the first 3 games are really the foundational games. Those are the 3 games that everything else is built on, including the last 4 games. So that's probably pretty good for you for a chunk to think about as far as groundwork.